everybody, it's Frankie-Lou
and Angus,
and today we're coming to you to show you yet again another Christmas gift from our kitchen.
Yep, well, our outdoor kitchen.
Yes, at the Grow Together home. Angus, what are we making today?
We're making smoked garlic salt.
Smoked.
My three favorite things: smoky, garlicky, and salty.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff, right? Like garlic salt is good. Smoked garlic salt's a whole other level. And we send this away to all of our friends for Christmas as well. It's an easy thing to ship.
Yep.
And it's wonderful. So we do have a pellet smoker, but I know that a lot of you don't. But most of you have a barbecue. So we're going to show you how to barbecue this, smoke on the barbecue. So first of all, if you have
one of these glorious...
We have a tray that slides in and out. So
it's awesome.
We love it. I'm loading this up with alder chips that I have soaked for about an hour. Angus, what if you don't have one of these? What can you do?
Okay. So, that's like best. This is second best.
Well, best is using a smoker, right?
Well, yeah. That's second best. This is third best. It's got this where did you get this?
I got it at Canadian Tire. It's just a metal smoking box.
Yeah, with holes in the top. Or if you don't,
where do you put that on your barbecue?
So you take out one of the grills.
That's right. And you place it right down on the flames if you do have that. Okay.
Yep. And then if you don't have that, then you get a bunch of these wood smoker chips, you wrap it in tin foil, you get a knife or a skewer and go...
Yeah, you just poke some holes in it, you make a few of those packs up, and you change them out. It does take a while, because first I'm going to smoke my garlic.
Yep.
Then I'm going to mix it with salt. Then I'm going to smoke it again. Then I'm going to dehydrate it. I know it sounds like a lot of work.
Dehydrate?
No, sorry. Dehydrate it in the oven. If you have a dehydrator, you could do it as well, but I just quickly pop it in the oven. So, it does seem like a lot of work, but we find this is worth it. And honestly, people do ask for it over and over and over again. Am I getting the garlic salt again this Christmas? So, yes. So what I'm doing is first I'm going to prepare the barbecue. And get it warm enough to roast and smoke the garlic at the same time. So I'm going to put my heat on. Okay. And I'm going to get the temperature in my barbecue up to about... I'm going to get the temperature in my barbecue up to about 250 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to get that going, and now while that's heating up, I'm going to show you how we prepare the garlic. I've got several heads of garlic here. You want to choose really nice, firm heads, okay? You don't want it to be soft at all. You want it to be nice and fresh. If I was making smoked garlic just to have a smoked garlic, I would keep these heads intact. But as I am making a garlic salt, where I want to actually dry it out quite a bit, I'm going to crush these a little bit and put them on a tray so that they actually will smoke.
Can I try a couple?
Sure. Doing this is we want to give an opportunity for the smoke to get into this garlic as much as possible.
And for it to dry out.
Yeah, like normally when you're making just smoked garlic, which is delicious, and we can show you that at another time, you want to keep the bulbs together so that they stay nice and juicy. But the whole point of this is to dry it out, and to get as much smoke flavor as possible. So we're actually crushing these bulbs a little bit. And we'll continue doing that, and we're going to put it on this type of tray.
Yep.
Okay, this is a well-used tray.
Yep, I've only had it for a couple.
Okay, so I've taken 6 or 7 heads of garlic. I have I've taken them apart. I've left the peels on, but I've given them a bit of a smash just to open them up. Leaving the peels on will protect it a little bit from burning, but opening it up a little bit also allows the smoke to get in and to start to dry out. Okay, so we've got our barbecue at the right temperature. The smoking tray is starting to smoke.
In the
smoking range. Angus, can you please open up the grill? We have, as you can see, there's a nice little bit of smoke coming off there. We want to keep this closed as much as possible. We have it on indirect heat. We've placed the garlic away from the heat. The heated part of the burner is over here. We're putting it over here. we're just going to close that up.
So then the smoke will gather?
Yep, so that it does smoke. We're going to try to keep that as closed as much as possible.
Yep.
And check on it in about 30 minutes to see how the smoking chips are doing, because we may have to change that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're about half an hour in here. It's time to change the wood chips. I'm also going to quickly, because it is not a very hot, I'm just going to quickly give this a bit of a stir around. Okay, they're still got a long ways to go. Not soft at all yet. And this is important, okay? With your wood chips, you want to make sure that you don't burn your house down, okay? Because I've almost done this. You can see they're still smoking, but they're nice and blackened. I'm going to pour some water on that, okay? Because one time I didn't, and I left it sitting on my countertop, and it blew it onto the deck, and I had lots of smoke happening, and a nice little burn spot on my deck. So make sure you wet your chips before you put them to rest. I'm gonna put some fresh wood chips in there. If you don't have one of these trays, you switch it out with a fresh one of these at this point, or you put in a fresh tinfoil pack. Pop that in there. Make sure that my temperature's staying consistent. It's between 250 and 300 degrees. Okay, because I do want that garlic to get a little soft. I do want it to roast a bit, but I also want to cook it really slow so it does get a nice smoky flavor. And I'm going to leave that. Come back in another half an hour. Well, our garlic has been in the smoker now, well, the barbecue now, for a total of an hour and a half. I've checked it twice. I've had a total of 3 different sets of smoking chips going here, and as you can see, it's nice and soft, okay, and it will have picked up a lot of the flavor. So if I was roasting this to eat as roasted garlic, I would leave it on longer and I would have kept it as full bulbs, but I'm going to pull these off now, and we're going to mix it with some salt and smoke it again. Okay, so I'm just going to take this off and we'll be back in a sec. So we have now smoked our garlic cloves individually so that they'll be ready to mix with the salt and put back in the smoker. While I'm preparing this salt mixture, I've actually put new wood chips back into the barbecue, but I've turned it way down because for this stage we don't really need to cook anymore. All we want to do is impart some of that smoky flavor. It doesn't require any more cooking at this stage. So I'm going to take, I got my nice, it's really easy to get the skins off of these, basically, once I've smoked them. And they're nice soft, and they smell delicious. Angus was like, oh my gosh, it smells so garlicky. So I'm going to put about half of my heads, well, my clothes. I'm removing the skins now. You don't want to put the skins in the salt part. So I'm going to put about half of these garlic cloves in my blender here with about 4 cups of coarse kosher salt. We're not talking like the big chunks, but this is something you could use sort of as a finishing size on a steak or something. So I buy coarse kosher salt for this, and I pop it in there. I find that the blender can really only handle about 4 cups at a time. So I'm going to prepare this. We'll whiz it up and I'll show you what it should look like. Okay, so now I'm going to pulse this. You'll want to scrape down the sides at different points. This up, and this is pretty much a perfect texture. I want it to be slightly wet, okay? It's not as wet as if I put fresh garlic in there because I did dry them out a little bit in the thing, because the wetness actually helps the smoke bind to the salt as you put it in the smoker again. I'm going to put this on a parchment paper lined cookie sheet, okay? Alright, that's about half of what I've done. So this is about 3 to 3.5 cloves of garlic and 4 cups of salt. And it fills up this cookie sheet nicely. I'm going to make up another sheet of this as well. Pop them both in the smoker and be right back. Okay, as you can see, I got a ton of smoke coming off of my barbecue right now. I have it on the lowest temperature I can possibly get, with just a very, very, very low indirect heat over on this side. And I have my 2 trays of garlic salt in there. I'm going to switch those up every 15 minutes or so for the next hour to 90 minutes, depending on how long it takes me to go through 2 full trays of the smoking chips. You can see they're smoking nicely there. And I will check back with you when that's all done. So I've had that first smoking tray in there, I'd say about 25 minutes, and it's done. So I'm gonna quickly, once again, add more water to it. Put some fresh chips in. I'm popping that back in at the lowest heat. We're not cooking now, we're just smoking. And while that smoke is getting sorted out, I'm going to quickly switch these trays around. And I'm going to give my salt a little stir, just to make sure that the smoking process happens evenly. It's a little drier than when I put it in, which is great. I have smoked my salt on my barbecue. I did it almost 90 minutes this time because I found that the smoking trays were really lasting a long time. I shifted them several times, and they're looking great. They're still a tiny bit damp. Now that was great while they were on the smoker, because the dampness from the smashed up garlic really helps the smoke to bind to the salt. But you don't want to send people damp salt as a gift, so we want to finish drying this off. If you have a dehydrator, that's a great way to do it. I'm just going to pop these in my oven at 175 degrees and stir them and check them frequently. It'll probably take less than an hour. It could take as little as half an hour for these to dry out completely. And I'll stir it every once in a while, make sure that it's even, and then we'll show you it when it's all done. So I'm going to pop these in now, and I'll be back. We have taken the salt, we've smoked it on the smoker, and now we've also dried it out in the oven at 175. It took about an hour. It's a nice dry texture. Okay, even. I like it a little bit crumbly like this. If you're looking for a more even texture, a little bit finer salt, just whiz it back up in the food processor for another couple minutes, and you should be good to go. So once your salt is completely cooled off, and if you found it that it's cakey or it's got chunks in it, like I said, do whiz it up through the food processor again, and you should end up with a nice salt. Okay, so I store this in nice little mason jars. We ship a lot of this off for Christmas gifts as well, and it'll store, like I have kept it for up to a year, and it's been quite tasty still at a year's point. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that you'll give it a try, because honestly, it is some of our favorite stuff. You got the smoky, you've got the salty, and you got the garlic. Perfect on mashed potatoes, perfect on pasta, perfect on pizza, perfect on steaks. I'm sure you can think of lots of ways to use this. I know that we actually run out of this salt before a lot of the other different kinds that we do make. We'll be showing you some more of that stuff and some of our other seasonings. If you want to subscribe or stay tuned, there's going to be lots more coming up. And so please give it a try. And I hope you take this chance to grow together today. Have a good one, guys.